still packs a punch. What's up guys, Andrew here on my channel GearedInc, where I get to share what I'm passionate about with you. To my channel, that's PC tech, games, and gear. Before we get started, remember that there's only like a week left to enter the 1TB PCI 4.0 NVMe SSD I'm giving away on the channel right now. It's going to be the little exclamation mark on one of the sides of the screens. You can click it, it'll take you to the giveaway video if you haven't entered that already. So today we're doing a benchmarking video on whether or not the RX 580 8GB and the 1060 6GB respectively are still capable of pushing 60 FPS 1080p ultra gaming. Now both of these GPUs are very much last gen in terms of their architecture, having been out now for 3 or 4 years. So the testing methodology that I did for this is everything is completely maxed out, ultra settings, 1080p on everything, as far as it would let me essentially on every single setting, even the dumb ones, which I'm going to talk about later in the video. That being said, I decided to pair this with a much more realistic system, my wife's system actually, because it would, no one I don't think who would buy this or is going for this would pair it with like a 9900K from Intel or 3900X from AMD. It would literally make no sense, and so this is much more realistic. Her system's still plenty powerful, but it's way within a budget where buying a GPU like this would make more sense. So the motherboard we're using is the Asus B350. We're also using the 3600 from Ryzen, so these are the new CPUs paired with 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz G-Skill, cast latency 16, and a 1TB SanDisk SSD. So this is something that, again, I feel is a much more realistic pairing in terms of hardware you would actually be buying this GPU with. And essentially, the reason you would do this is obviously if you were trying to get a really good system in terms of like the guts of everything was really solid, and then you just had a certain amount of budget, like $100 to $130 for a GPU, and that's where this would kind of fit the bill. Obviously, talk is cheap and picture is worth 1,000 words, so without further ado, let's see some side-by-side comparisons of how these two cards do. So there you have it, guys. I want to dive into the numbers with you because this test was very illuminating for me if I was making a decision on buying one of these GPUs. So first off, these two GPUs perform very much identically unless we're talking about games where VRAM can be taken advantage of. Due to the RX 580's extra 2 gigabytes of VRAM, any title where the settings were essentially bottlenecking that 1060, the 580 was able to outperform it, I'd say, fairly handily. The only two games that actually favored NVIDIA were The Witcher 3 3 and Metro Exodus, which had better 1% and 0.1% lows, as well as slightly higher FPS. But again, that's kind of negligible when you're talking about overall performance for both of these GPUs. So I think the takeaway is that both these GPUs are capable of almost every title we tested, 60 FPS at least minimum, consistent FPS across the board. And in titles like The Witcher 3, where you're not going to be able to get that at Ultra, just like I mentioned earlier, settings are dumb. I mean, drop it down to high. You're not going to be losing that much, honestly. You're still going to get a 60 FPS experience, and you leave it at Ultra and just drop some of the other settings. Like, there's so many different things like lighting, shadow, etc. that take up resources that honestly are not going to, miraculously change like how the game plays or even how it looks to any greater degree. Most gamers mess with their settings to kind of get the FPS they want. I still think these GPUs are great budget options, especially because you can pick up either of them right now for sub $130 on eBay, which is pretty fantastic. Now, if I had to pick between the two, I would go with the RX 580 all day long, because that 2 extra gigabytes of VRAM is now starting to show, really show the age more than anything. It's able to keep up with more modern titles in terms of not bottlenecking when you're going to higher settings. However, if you have an extra $50 in your budget, I wouldn't recommend either of these. I would go with a 1070 if you don't care about like DLSS or ray tracing, because it's a much better performing GPU. And right now you can literally get it for under $200 on eBay. And it's going to be able to do 1080p gaming much better, and even some 1440p gaming if that's something you're into, especially with a system like this. So overall, guys, I hope you found this video helpful. But yeah, these two GPUs are still plenty fine in 2019, and as they start to continue to show their age, drop down your settings just a little bit, you're probably going to be able to squeeze maybe another, like, I'd say like 2 years of performance out of these if you're going to be making that purchase. So anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and leave me a big thumbs up. If you hated it, go ahead and leave me a thumbs down. Remember to get subscribed and hit that bell icon so you know when these videos drop, or drop a like on this video. As always, guys, thanks to my Patreon and Twitch subscribers. You make the channel happen in a huge way. I put your name at the end of my videos as a way to say thanks. You get access to things like the monthly wallpaper we do. You can join our Discord of PC enthusiasts and gamers. All of the products I showed you, minus the GPUs, because those are eBay, are going to be linked with my Amazon affiliate links, so you can support me directly if you use any of those to purchase any of these products that you've seen. All the money goes back in the channel, as I am completely self-funded. Thanks to all of you, but I'm going to continue to make these videos whether you watch them or not, but I hope you do, and I hope to see every single one of you next time here on GearedInc. Got some in my teeth. I still can't get it out. All right, I'm good.